Where is everybody? The Fermi Paradox. Explained in my last video, I left you with a question. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. There are 2 trillion galaxies in it, hundreds of billions of stars in ours alone, and the distances between them are so vast they break human brains. And yet, statistically, life should exist somewhere else. So where is everybody? That question has a name, the Fermi Paradox. And once you truly understand it, you cannot unhear it. It sits at the back of every conversation about space, about science, about the future of the human race. It is genuinely the most important unanswered question in science. Let's get into it. First, who was Fermi? Enrico Fermi was one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century. He built the world's first nuclear reactor. He won the Nobel Prize. He was, by any measure, one of the sharpest minds who ever lived. The paradox named after him didn't come from a paper or a lecture. It came from a lunch. In 1950, Fermi was eating with colleagues at Los Alamos, the famous research lab in New Mexico. The conversation turned to UFOs and the possibility of alien life. And in the middle of it, almost casually, Fermi asked a question that nobody at the table could answer. But where is everybody? That was it. 5 words. And 75 years later, we still don't have an answer. Here's why the paradox is so powerful. The Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. Life on Earth appeared roughly 3.8 billion years ago, less than a billion years after the planet formed, which means there has been time, enormous, almost incomprehensible amounts of time, for life to have emerged elsewhere, evolved intelligence, developed technology, and spread across the galaxy. Even if we assume interstellar travel is slow, even if a civilization can only move at a tiny fraction of the speed of light, a determined species could colonize the entire Milky Way in somewhere between 1 and 10 million years. 1 to 10 million years sounds like a lot. But the galaxy is 13 billion years old. That's like saying it would take you 5 minutes to walk across a room, and then pointing out you've been standing in the doorway for 3 days. There has been more than enough time, many times over. So if even one civilization anywhere in our galaxy had emerged, survived, and wanted to expand, we should see evidence of it everywhere. We see nothing. That is the paradox. Now, scientists and thinkers have been wrestling with this for 75 years, and they've come up with a long list of possible explanations. Let's go through the most serious ones. The first is the simplest. We are alone. Not just rare, not just isolated. Alone. Life, and particularly intelligent life, may be so extraordinarily unlikely that it has only happened once in the observable universe. Here, on this pale blue dot, orbiting an unremarkable star, on the edge of an unremarkable galaxy. This is called the rare Earth hypothesis, and it's more credible than it sounds. Consider what Earth has going for it. A large moon that stabilizes our axial tilt, giving us relatively stable seasons. A Jupiter-sized planet in our outer solar system that acts like a gravitational shield, hoovering up asteroids and comets that would otherwise devastate us. A magnetic field generated by our molten iron core, protecting us from solar radiation. Plate tectonics that recycle carbon and regulate our temperature. The right distance from a stable star. The right kind of star. Pull any one of those threads, and the story of life on Earth may never have started. And if every one of those conditions has to align, maybe complex life is extraordinarily rare. Maybe we won the cosmic lottery so many times over that no one else has won it yet. Maybe there is no one else. The second explanation is darker. They existed, and something killed them. This is called the Great Filter. The idea is this. Somewhere on the path from simple chemistry to starfaring civilization, there is a step so difficult, so improbable, so catastrophically dangerous, that almost nothing gets through it. A filter. And the question, the genuinely terrifying question, is whether that filter is behind us or ahead of us. If the filter is behind us, if the hard part was getting from chemistry to single-celled life, or from single cells to complex multicellular organisms, then we may have already passed through it. We may be among the rare survivors. And the future, while uncertain, is at least open. But if the filter is ahead of us, if the thing that kills civilizations is something they discover or develop after reaching our current level of technology, then every civilization that gets this far eventually destroys itself. Nuclear weapons, engineered pandemics, artificial intelligence, climate collapse, something we haven't even invented yet. And here's the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. If we ever find fossils of simple microbial life on Mars, that would be wonderful news for astrobiology. Life emerging independently on two planets in the same solar system would suggest life is common, but it would be terrible news for humanity, because it would mean the filter is not behind us. Simple life gets through easily, which means the thing that's wiping out civilizations is somewhere further up the road, somewhere we haven't reached yet. The day we find life on Mars may be the most frightening day in human history. The third explanation is stranger. They exist, but they're hiding. This is the zoo hypothesis. The idea that advanced civilizations are aware of us, but have chosen not to make contact, perhaps to let us develop naturally. Like a nature reserve, like a zoo. It's a comforting thought in some ways. The adults are watching. They'll step in if things get really bad. But it has a serious problem. It requires every single civilization in the galaxy to agree to the same policy, forever, with no defectors, no rogue individuals, no accidents. In human history, we have never managed to get every nation to agree on anything. The idea that thousands of independent alien civilizations all maintain the same silent pact indefinitely stretches credibility well past breaking point. The fourth is more chilling still, the dark forest theory. This comes from Chinese science fiction writer Liu Cixin, and it goes like this. The universe is silent not because there's no one there, but because everyone is hiding. Any civilization that announces its existence risks being destroyed by another civilization that sees it as a potential threat. So the rational strategy, once you understand the silence of the universe, is to stay quiet and eliminate any other intelligence you detect before it becomes dangerous to you. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is a hunter moving silently. And if you hear a noise, you shoot first. It's a brutal idea, but it's internally consistent, and it explains the silence without requiring life to be rare. It also means that every signal we have ever sent into space, every radar pulse, every radio transmission, every deliberate message directed at nearby stars, may have been a mistake. The fifth explanation is perhaps the most humbling. They exist, but we can't recognize them. Consider how much human communication has changed in a century. We went from telegraph to radio to television to the internet to encrypted digital signals, all in 100 years. Our radio signals are already becoming harder to detect as we shift to more efficient, more tightly focused transmission methods. A civilization 1,000,000 years more advanced than us would not be using technology we can recognize. Their communication might look like background noise to us. Their engineering projects might be things we observe but don't understand. They might be everywhere, and we might be looking directly at the evidence every night without knowing what we're seeing. We are searching for alien life using the tools and assumptions of a civilization that has had electricity for about 150 years. That is like trying to find a conversation by looking for smoke signals. So, where does that leave us? We are alone, or we are rare, or something kills everything that gets this far, or they're hiding, or they're hunting, or they're so far beyond us we can't even perceive them. Every single one of those possibilities is extraordinary. And here's what I keep coming back to. The silence is real. It's confirmed. We have been listening, seriously, scientifically listening, for over 60 years. We have scanned millions of stars. We have detected no repeating, structured, unambiguous signal from any intelligent source. In 60 years of looking, nothing. That silence is data, and it is telling us something important. We just haven't agreed on what yet. But I'll tell you what I believe, for what it's worth. From someone who has spent a lot of time thinking about this. I don't think we're alone. The universe is too big and too old for this to be the only place where something interesting happened. But I think intelligence, genuinely technological, expansionist, communicating intelligence, may be rarer than we hoped. Rare enough that the nearest example might be thousands or millions of light years away. And that distance, as we established last time, might as well be forever. Which means the most important thing we can do is exactly what we're doing right now. stay curious, keep looking, keep listening, and in the next video I want to tackle the most disturbing version of all of this, the Great Filter, in detail, what it is, what could cause it, and whether there is any chance we've already passed through it. See you then.